Hello everyone, back to you in today's first video, doing the ECMWF 30-day look ahead for today's first video. So we're going to look at mean sea level pressure, temperature and rainfall anomalies for UK and for the rest of Northern Europe as well. For the next 4 weeks, it will take us into the second half of November. And I should get on with it for you very shortly. Just say that we can extend out to weeks 5 and 6 with this. But we're going to stop at week 4 for this video. And then we'll show you weeks 5 and 6, mean sea level pressure, temperature, rainfall anomalies in tomorrow's live stream at 6 o'clock in the evening, when we will be live streaming the 10 to 14 day update. And I'd say that'll be from 6 tomorrow evening. But yeah, I'll get on it for you very shortly. Just say that coming up later on, we're going to have the 10 to 14 day video update, including all our regular features up with you later on this afternoon. We're at the ecmwf.int website for this, so big thanks to them for sharing the data, and let's get on with it, shall we? So we're going to start off with the week 1 mean sea level pressure anomaly. This is taking us from a week from the 19th to 26th of October, so the coming week, essential week that we have just started. It looks unsettled. So on this colour scheme, blue is going to be extrapolating to low pressure and pink to higher pressure. So we can see that we've got low pressure over and to the west of the country. Ridging has pulled out far away from us into the far North Atlantic and is down across southern parts of Europe as well. So most of Europe is being covered, but the North Atlantic is being covered by a deep area of low pressure. Jet stream is doing something like that. And yeah, it just looks very unsettled really with mean sea level pressure anomaly in the week ahead. The week 1 temperature anomaly taking us from the 19th to 26th of October is looking like this. Generally some milder week through most parts of Europe. So you know we have had some very chilly weather, particularly across Western Europe and Northern Europe over the past few weeks. But this week is looking a lot milder. The core of the mild temperatures over on the eastern side of Europe though. So around the Black Sea and then going northwards into like the far east Europe and the southwest of Russia. There we see temperature anomalies like 2 to 3 degrees above average. But coming back further westwards, we see these above average temperatures also extending across many parts of northern and western Europe too. We have got Scandinavia and the Baltic Sea sort of area a little bit cooler than average. And then down in the central bowl of the Mediterranean, over towards the Balkans, over the Adriatic into the Balkans, it's a little bit cooler than average there, only around half a degree to 1 degree or so. But yes, it's a little bit cooler across southern parts of Europe. But these are the exceptions, and I suppose Portugal as well is a bit cooler than average. But these are the exceptions. Most parts of Europe around a degree above average, from Ireland, the UK and France in the west, right way over towards Ukraine and the far east of Europe over in the east. And as I say, in the Mediterranean, we have got a bit of a three-way split going on. So the central bowl of the Med from Italy into central bowl is a bit cooler than average. Southeastern corner is a little bit milder than average, and also we've got Spain coming out a little bit above average with temperature as well. Precipitation anomalies for Europe in week 1 from the 19th to 26th of October looks like that. Wetter than average in the north and in the west of Europe. So we've got much of Scandinavia with above average precipitation. We've got much of the UK, Ireland, down into Iberia, possibly around the Bay of Biscay as well, cooler than average through there. On the other hand though, eastern and southern Europe looks generally drier than average, particularly so again through the central bowl of the Med around Italy into central bowl over the Adriatic towards the Balkans, down to this southeastern corner, significantly drier than average through there. And many eastern parts of Europe also looking slightly drier than average as well, kind of like from Germany in the west, right way over towards the Black Sea. Again, we're generally coming out a little bit on the drier than average side. It is a bit dry and average up towards Norway, into the Norwegian Sea, so some leftover legacy of northern blocking from earlier on in the month, and much of the North Atlantic actually looking rather dry and average, so we're probably a mid-Atlantic ridge extending up towards Greenland through there with a trough through here, and it pumps up wind in from a southwesterly direction. Right, let's come back to mean sea level pressure then and have a look at week 2. So this is how the week 2 mean sea level pressure anomaly is looking from the 26th of October, 2nd of November. Going rather westerly across northern and western Europe then. So we've got low pressure up towards Greenland and Iceland. We've got high pressure around the Azores in the middle of the North Atlantic. This will bring in like a westerly flow from off the Atlantic. Higher pressure up towards the northeast of Europe. That's going to try and pull up some warm southerly winds, I would have thought, on the eastern side of Europe. So it implies, I think we could probably start to line up the jet a little bit northwest southeast here into the northwest Europe. So it probably implies that northern and western parts of Europe, those sort of areas, are turning a little bit cooler, while the east and southeast of Europe might be turning a little bit warmer with southerly winds, so cooler in the west and the northwest, warmer perhaps in the east and in the southeast. Let's have a look at the week 2 temperature anomaly, again taking us from the 26th of October to 2nd of November, and it looks like that. So yeah, it does confirm the idea that Western Europe is turning generally cooler. Ireland, UK, France, Spain, Portugal, into the central part of the Mediterranean. Below average temperatures there, around a degree below average, really. On the other hand, though, northern and eastern parts of Europe are looking warmer, so particularly through Scandinavia, we're around 1 to 2 degrees above average up there. Most parts of Eastern Europe coming out around 1 degree above average as well. And as far as Mediterranean is concerned, so anywhere from Italy westwards, cooler than average, Italy eastwards, really Greece, Turkey, Cyprus, those sort of areas warmer than average. So a proper east-west split. We've seen a lot of this this autumn, actually. A lot of east-west splits, and so a proper east-west split comes back for the end of October and the beginning of November, where it's cooler in the west and warmer in the east. Week 2 precipitation anomaly, rainfall anomaly, going from the 26th of October to 2nd of November is looking like this. So you can see where the high pressure is, can't you? Drier than average here around the Azores and to west of Portugal, wetter than average out to the northwest. So quite clearly you can see where the low pressure and the high pressure is in the North Atlantic. Central part of the Med is largely wetter than average, and then we've got the east and the northeast of Europe drier than average. So yeah, drier than average in the northeast, wetter than average across parts of the Mediterranean, and then wetter than average in the northwest, including Scandinavia, Ireland, and the UK, much of France, and down into Spain as well. Week 3 precipitation anomaly. They're going to look like that, much more of an anticyclonic signal coming through then. So the core of a ridging is out towards the northeast, but there is like a gentle ridge that's sort of extending across much of Northern Europe, most parts of Northern Europe, going into a ridge of high pressure. Low pressure up to the far north and down into the Mediterranean. We've got near normal pressure for Spain and Portugal, but most other areas having slightly above average pressure. So it looks like high pressure takes over there in week 3 from the 2nd to the 9th of November. Week 3 temperature anomaly looks like that. So again, it's warmer than average across Scandinavia, or mild than average through much of Scandinavia, the Baltic areas, far northeast of Europe, a little bit warmer than average through there. The extreme east and southeast Europe also comes out a little bit warmer than average, particularly from the Black Sea down towards Spain and down towards Greece and Turkey. Out into west of the Mediterranean, you've got Spain, Portugal, Central Wild Med, cooler than average. These cooler than average conditions look like they're extending up towards the UK and Ireland as well. So after this warmer week that we've got coming up, generally the Western Europe looks like it's going quite cool again, really, as we go into the early part of November. Otherwise, there's a lot of white going on there, which is average or no signal. Precipitation anomalies for week 3 from the 2nd to the 9th of November, looking like this. So indicative of the high pressures taking over through this period. So yeah, generally it's drier than average from Spain, Portugal, France, Ireland, UK, and the far west, over towards west of Russia in the east. Most of these areas are drier than average. Southern Europe looks a little bit more unsettled through there, and near normal precipitation up towards Scandinavia as well. This is a much more anticyclonic week, though, from the 2nd to 9th of November. And then finally for this video, week 4, mean sea level pressure anomaly looks like that. Generally, again, quite anticyclonic signal for many parts of Europe. So it does look as though high pressure will tend to take over through early November, through the first half of November. High pressure tending to take over through many parts of northern Europe up to the middle part of November. Anyway, we've got anticyclonic conditions by the look of it. Week 4 temperature anomaly from the 9th to the 16th of November. Very weak signals by this point. Overall, looking still above average temperature for the far north of Europe and into the extreme southeast as well. Western Europe, I think, still hints at being a little bit on the cooler than average side under this ridge of high pressure. So, of course, it's November, so under high pressure is probably going to start cooling down very rapidly, especially over continental landmass. Inversions will be taking place. Models don't pick up on that very well, low-level cold, but we could expect inversions start taking place across the continental landmass, and that could start to make things quite cold and foggy potentially through this early part of November. And then finally, precipitation anomaly, rainfall anomaly for week 4, 9th to 16th of November, looks like that. Again, signals are weakening the further out we're going, but the overall idea is still really to be driving average through many northern parts of Europe, southern Europe, perhaps looking a little bit more unsettled, but the signals are too weak to be able to determine that. So a definite trend from very unsettled and also quite mild conditions in much of Europe in the next week to something a lot drier but also cooler and more anticyclonic as we go into the early part of the first half of November. We will extend out beyond that to weeks 5 and 6 in our live stream tomorrow. You will see what the rest of November is forecast to be doing by the ECMWF extended range model, and I say that be in our live stream tomorrow, Wednesday evening from 6 o'clock. It's just a snapshot of what these models of show could all look, very, very different next week. And, of course, we will do another sort of 42-day update on Friday. We'll show you the full 6 weeks range on Friday evening. That's a new regular feature at GavsWeatherVids, as the ECM extended range model is updated twice a week on a Tuesday and on a Friday. Right, that's it then. So we'll be back later on with your 10 to 14 day update, including all of regular features. Come back for that then. For this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.